I wish I was taught discipline with a positive remarks, because here's how they taught you. Discipline, girls, you have to be very disciplined. And you even hate discipline because of how they talk about it. But then if someone came to us and was like, discipline is this very beautiful thing that is about control and about mastering yourself. Imagine at that age, if you had been taught discipline in such a loving and we want you to understand it and to want to involve discipline in your daily practice and your life. If they had done that, Kenya, you wouldn't see the way drivers behave on roads. Well, I'm Gicheru Wanjiku. I'd consider myself a very fun and bubbly person, usually. I have my bad days, but on another day, on a good day, you'll find me being myself, giving vibes. I think one of my biggest mottos in life is try and have love, not just for yourself, but for other people as well. And I think that's what I try and surround my life and just work from that space in everything that I do. I have got into a place where I do something called Theatre for Development, which is something that gives me, I think, the most joy that I find and purpose in life, I guess. And it involves working with communities to try and shift perspectives. And I use it to even talk about subjects that I'm very passionate about, like vaginas, and I'd want every woman to understand why it is so important to love themselves in that manner and to adore their vaginas and to be able to use my work and put it into things that I'm very passionate about is just the best experience and feeling you can get out of things you do. As a creative, I think I just enjoy life and creating from life and my own experiences. I wouldn't say that originally that's why I started when it comes to art. I think I thought art was cool, so yeah, let's do art. But now I've given art purpose, or art has found purpose for me. I don't know who has found purpose for who, but we are working well, so that's a beautiful thing. I did theatre arts and film technology. And I've majored mainly in theatre because that's what I enjoy. Specifically theatre for development. Pia mimi ni actress, so yes, it's true. It's true. I'm also an actress. I'm a model. I try to sing, but I cook half the time. But the bathroom loves me, so we are good on that regard. The education, I was born with it. So school just tried to make me dumb. That's what happened. I think they were convinced that school is going to make me smart, but I think it slowed down the process of the greatness I was meant to be in this planet. But I don't mind that I went through it because I went through it with a whole bunch of people. School was a fun experience. I think especially campus for me, because high school, just being taught discipline in this very negative, very wow, ouch kind of lifestyle, that wasn't pleasant. But at least campus, that's your first dose of vitamin freedom, I wish I was taught discipline with a like positive remarks, because here's how they taught you. You know, discipline, girls, you have to be very disciplined. And you even hate discipline because of how they talk about it. But then if someone came to us and was like, discipline is this very beautiful thing that is about control and about mastering yourself. Imagine at that age, like if you had been taught discipline in such a loving and we want you to understand it and to want to involve discipline in your daily practice and your life. I think to those who might feel it worked for them is because maybe they're able to see tangible results of an amount of discipline that they were able to achieve. Which, yes, maybe you're able to achieve that kind of discipline in that manner, but what if you could have been taught discipline in this different positive way? As much as, yes, you've achieved that, imagine you achieved all of that. Despite all the negativity, you achieved that. That means you're capable of achieving beyond, if only someone had done it with this very positive and loving way. I'd say yes. Interestingly enough, we actually came out of campus with something, so we thank God. Yeah, the fact that I was able to practice theatre arts and film technology has really helped me venture in theatre for development, because I got exposed to theatre for development when I was studying in school, and I'm able to like put it in so many things that I practice, and it's slowly becoming a lifestyle. So I can be a stylist and costume designer for films. I can be a model. I am a model, not can be. What am I saying? I am a model. I am a poet. I am a theatre for development practitioner. That means I work with communities using different forms of theatre, like drama, psychodrama, different just forms of theatre to help communities just shift their perspectives themselves with like just my facilitation or guidance. I'm an actress. I believe I am a director, and a good one at that, especially for love things. I can be mushy. You know, when you have so many things you can do, you forget. I'm sure I've not said some things. I believe I can dance when put to the test. So poetry for me means expression, and it means being able to convey an idea, and sometimes it's also very meaningless to me, and I don't have purpose for it. I'm just writing to see what comes out, or for fun or whatever. But how I found out about poetry is so funny, because I don't even exactly consider myself a poet, because I wasn't a poet from the beginning. What happened was I used to take a friend of mine to open mics, and he used to enjoy singing, so every time I'd take him. And at this particular time, I wrote a monologue about vaginas, and I like read it to him, and he was like, "This is nice, you should like perform it at this open mic sometime."
Just random.
Yeah, just randomly. And I was like, "Do I want to perform this? But they don't have like a monologue segment." And he's like, "No, just say it, whatever will happen will happen." So I started. So I went to the stage and I performed this piece about vaginas, and everyone was like, "Okay, that is some balls on you." And I was like, "Okay, sawa." And I wrote another piece and went again and again and again, and they kept putting me under the spoken word segment. Open mics are like, you can go to, mainly they happen at a club. It's like karaoke, but yeah, I think it's almost the same concept. There's a mic, you get to perform, you register, and as people are having their drinks, you like perform your craft. Yeah, pretty much anything. I've been to an open mic speaker box, and there was even dancing, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. So there's a lot of opportunities actually for anyone who would want to look into that. There's like a bunch of open mics you can register in, but COVID, I think, kind of spoiled. So yeah, so poetry became a thing after always being categorized as a spoken word artist. So I met someone else who introduced me to slam, the poetry slam event, and I decided to register, and that's when now spoken word became close, because now there was competition, and that open mics, people torture you and they tell you, oh, you're so good at what you're doing. And then unaingia huku, you meet the G's and the G's and the G's, and you're like, oh God, I am ashamed of what I do. So in high school, I think I was exposed to drama, and I was the main character, and I was playing this very arrogant man called Don Sauce, and he was just an annoying person, and that's the character I got to play. So I think that boosted my artistic confidence to an extent, because you're always like, yeah, in front of people, and they want you to perform for them, and they think you're amazing, and they think you're cool, and you're just like, yes, you're basking in that attention. And then there's after high school, immediately after, I remember staying at home for like a week and being like, there's no way mimi nakaa kwa hii nyumba ya huyu mwanamke. There's no way. Also, my mom is the kind of person who doesn't want to see you just being around the house. So she pushed me to like find something to do. And I remember coming across a group of players, theater players, who were called Nation Players at the time. And I started doing set books. So the books I'd been reading in high school, I became like an actor and a narrator for these books, and I played different roles. So interestingly, my elder sister does fashion and design, and she also did it in KU. And she used to send me books that have like career options when I was like in Form 2 or Form 3, and I used to find them like, sasa huyu mbona ananistress na hizi vitu, like just give me peace. And I remember I thought I would do a course called sports science. Na nilikuwa nimekufia hiyo kitu kabisa, but then I am very poor with sports, pretty much every sport. But then after the sports thingy, I stumbled upon theater and film, and I was like, this is nice. And now when I did drama in school, now I was convinced. I was like, this is it. I am not even studying that hard mathematics. I wouldn't be needing you so much. But yeah, I know my craft now. I know this is what I'm going to go in and do. I can't say that I look up to exactly one person. But I have different people that I admire in their craft, and at different times what they release. One of the people I admire a lot in Africa is Ijeoma. She's a Nigerian writer, and she's just mind-blowing. Among the people that I already know, I enjoy Nicole Agneta's work, and I don't even know her process, but she just writes beautifully, and that's amazing. And yeah, I wouldn't say that I look up to one person per se. Stella Kivuti, someone who has so much power when she's performing, and it's crazy. Akinyi, who's like full of flow when she's doing her thing. Yeah, and people, I think I also look up to people who work behind the scenes, like organizations like Creative Spills, which is constantly working towards bringing artists together and creating projects where artists can be involved. I still stumble on people that I've never even met or come across, or their work. And they're doing it out there, and wanajulikana out there, and you're like, hi, how did I not know about you? But then I guess you gravitate to the people who you kind of have a similar energy, or the people you're just pretty much even exposed to. because maybe kuna mtu you have a similar energy with, but you've never been exposed to each other, so you've never had the experience of each other. But I think it's the social circles we're in that kind of lets us get to know uyu ni nani, uyu ni nani, uyu ni nani. Yeah. I did. I would say to an extent, yes, because of, like, again, organizations like Creative Spills that organize events like Slam, and it's a good space where you get to have exposure. You get to see artists who are better than you, artists who are not better than you, and you're able to, like, improve your craft and master your writing and just realize there's more that can be done within your work.
I can feel your arrogance as you approach, staring at me like the game you plan to poach. Equanimous, I sit, pose, watch the arrogance of a man who acts top-notch, treating everyone else like they need to be coached. You move closer, preparing yourself to talk. And even before your mouth is open, I can tell you a lot. That man who thinks he's hot, when actually he's not. Got a few notes in his pot. He brags about his boat, mentions that he can take me to the coast and I won't even have to contribute to the cost. I read him like a book. So cliche, the man sounds just like a hook. Listen, I am not a girl impressed by talk. Neither the luxurious path that one walks. Certainly, I cannot be flattered by money. Neither promises of milk and honey. I am unfettered by position, undisturbed by possession, hardly impressed by occupation of the ranks that a man can hold in this nation. I am one to look at souls, beings that are whole. So I let him go on with his stories of gold, and my beauty he beholds. When he's done, I say, okay, bye. I simply walk away, thinking about this gender and its audacity.
Girls, you need to clean it up, like properly clean it up. So, being the caring female that I am, and seeing that I want to liberate my sisters, I must give you guidelines on how to keep it squeaky. First, you will need to call it by its name. V-A-G-I-N-A. Vagina. Shout it from the core of your spirit. Don't forget to put a fist in the air, because I don't want to hear this dudu nunu yoni nonsense. And that calling it by its name is not politically correct. Oh my goodness. 2, you will need to face it, one-on-one. Don't get too methodical on the best position and angle to view it from. See, the reason I'm chasing flexibility through yoga is because I want a better view of my vagina. But for now, I settle for a hand mirror. Now, why look at your vagina? It seems weird, eh? But see, you need to look at your vagina until the ugliness that society places on it vanishes. And as you look, you tap into its magnificence, excellence, intricateness. You fall in love with yourself through your root. 3, let it be free of oppressing underwear and soaps. The vagina was not supposed to smell like air freshener, and Christ, why have we bought into the idea of wearing man-made fabrics for underwear? I get it.
One of my best experiences was being in the women's slam competition, and it didn't even feel like a competition other than the nerves and the anxiety and just being like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. But other than that, the women were just so friendly and so easy, and this statement that a woman's worst enemy is a woman, I think was written by a man, because that was probably written by a man. I don't think a woman wrote that, because the energy that was there, I am telling you, there was just so much love and so much easiness and so much welcome and be yourself. Do what you want to do. Come here, I'll hug you when you ukisha talk a stage and you're nervous. Come, I'll hold you, come, I'll breathe with you and go like, I'll be like, there was support and that friendliness in the poetry scene, and that was beautiful to witness. My worst experience, I think this wasn't even in the poetry scene. This is just artistic. I think it was the acting scene. We did a show at this theater space, and we did a brilliant show. And the person who had contracted us to work for this show was like, you know what? I'm going to give you more money. And for me, I was like, no. I was upset because, of course, I enjoyed that, yes, we're going to get more money. But I was like, you mean you guys had enough money to pay us like this originally, but you chose not to? But then now that you realize, oh, these guys are actually really good at what they're doing, that's when you're like, oh, now they deserve their money. And for me, I felt that hiyo ni shadiness kwa hii biashara ya usanii. Because if you're able to actually pay the amount that they paid us at that particular time, and what they offered originally was like, what? Because I think they added double of what they had offered originally, and that was just like, that was shady business. Yeah, and that for me was a letdown when it comes to integrity in the artistic scene. It shows that there's no integrity, that you don't believe artists deserve to be paid until they can prove beyond reasonable doubt that they're good at what they do. I wouldn't say that there's a piece that I know of, but I have no idea. I don't know if my pieces have even put me out there, really. So in that regard, I don't know. I don't know.
Superstar. Yeah.
What? Jesus. Actually, let me blush in a way. If you're out here listening to me at midnight, I am honored. I am so honored. Like, I even, like, you're listening to me at midnight. God bless you. God bless you. I don't think I'd say ati kuna kitu shattering imekuja ikafanya something that has changed. No, I wouldn't say I am yet to encounter God's blessings. I am yet to encounter that. Yes, yet inanikujia, but what would I say? I'd say I've experienced beautiful people who helped understand more within the poetry scene, the acting scene, the costuming scene, and just the artistic general scene. I think it's Amanda Gorman. She's a poet, and she performed at, what is it called? Is it called the super, what is it called? Oh my God, I forget the name of this event. But it's like this huge event. Beyonce has performed there, Bruno Mars. What is it? Super Bowl.
It is real.
Yes. Thank you, brain. You are functional. Yes, the Super Bowl. She performed at that event, and for me that was such a huge moment, because I mean it's poetry and it's getting such a huge platform.
Yeah.
I think for me that was stupendous. I am at a place where I would, where am I? Lord Jesus, this is confusing. But I'd say at a place where I am still trying to find what works and what doesn't work. I'm allowing myself to make countless mistakes. I'm still learning. I'm still also gaining the confidence to put myself in spaces where I can shine, and to like shine without feeling like, okay, maybe I've shown too much. To allow myself to shine, and to just learn and fail and make it like, when a child is learning things, it's about, let's do this, let us get into the mud. It's not about, no, I won't get into the mud, I'll get dirty. No, it's about, I want to get dirty. I want to put myself into it and just see what comes out of it. That's where I'd say I'm at, career-wise. And yeah, I'm eating some fruits. So, in the Kenyan scene, spoken word and poetry they tend to put it together. But personally, the way I feel about these two crafts is different. For me, poetry is it's more, I don't even know, it's like a way of writing that is so beautiful and so graceful. I'm not saying spoken word is not graceful. I'm just saying that poetry has an intensity of like slowness and steadiness and calmness. But then when it comes to spoken word, it's mostly about power and delivery, and it's not necessarily that you have to say something way too powerfully, but it's about delivery and performance, and how do you make the audience feel with your spoken word. So I feel like, yeah, so they can be placed together, but they can also be separated. For my modeling gigs, yes. For my poetry gig, a brand, no. Yeah, so for my modeling gigs, I work with a fashion designer named Cookie Koi, and I just model her stuff. And yeah, that's fun. Yeah. Yep. But I wouldn't say I've worked with brands when it comes to poetry. Nitakuwa nawadanganya, and I'm not a liar. I'm a good girl. Out of poetry alone, I can make an amount of money, but sustain the lifestyle I'd want to lead? Hell no. Okay. Currently, by the way, yeah, never say never. Poetry has the potential to feed me. It has the potential to give me the lifestyle I want. But at this particular moment, with how this situation, I don't know, in this country and artistic scene is, and how artists get their money.
Just COVID.
No, and also COVID. But not just COVID, but despite COVID, there's all of these other factors that have determined that as a poet, sitawahi lipa rent na poetry. For now, my guys. But kuna potential, yeah, kuweza kulipa rent na poetry one day. We hope so.
The key word is the kind of lifestyle that you want.
The kind of, yes, keywords. Kind of lifestyle I want to lead. Yeah, I currently don't see that possibility. That's where we were.
This is you yourself, how you are speaking.
I am speaking for myself. Other poets, I think I've seen other poets who've been able to live off poetry, and I admire that. And maybe it's in a stress. Let me not even go there. You know what? I am happy that these people are able to make a living out of poetry. To be able to watch them expand themselves and their pocket is a beautiful thing to witness.
You're happy for them.
I'm happy for them. I would say I'm passionate, and that's what leads me to learn things that I want to learn. And when I become passionate about something, I kind of become obsessed. And I was like, I wanna get to know how to do this like so well, so good. So yeah, for me, I think passion is what drives basically everything that I do. Honestly, I have an amount of laziness that sits with me. We've become friends, and I've accepted that it's a part of who I am. So I tell her to give me a break and welcome hard work sometimes, and yeah, she does.
You have a functional relationship. We
have a very functional relationship, very understanding, yeah. But sometimes she's nagging and needy, but I know how to handle her at this point. For talent, I have an amount of talent, I believe, that either I was born with or was nurtured or instilled in me when I was younger. Because I have a very expressive mother who's also an actress, but yeah, not like major actress, but I think I should have said she can act.
I think she's famous.
Don't go looking for my mom, please. She's not famous. Relax. Relax. Yeah. So I think I got some of it from my mama. I think I wasn't mostly aware of even the presence of an identity. I just enjoyed being around people because I love people. But then now growing up, you kind of now notice things to do with confidence. Maybe because you don't feel worthy, because you don't have something, or you wish you'd had more of something, so it kind of messes with your confidence. But I think I've gotten to a place where I enjoy authenticity so much that regardless of where I am in my journey, I want to express that as my honest truth and say, this is who I am. I'm not 100% perfect, but I want to constantly try to live in the truthness of who I am without trying to be someone else or try to change myself. So because of trying to strive to be like that, I won't try and change anyone else. I'll be like, this is who they are. I guess we should just understand them. That's who they are. First of all, this one maybe won't work for you as a grown-up, but if you are around children that you're trying to mold and to have their confidence work for them, I'd say my mother used to always push me out of her comfort zone ama being around her when we were out in public spaces. So she'd be like, enda ujue ule msichana anaitwa nani, enda ujue. So every time we'd go anywhere, she'd be like, enda ujue ule ni wanani. And I'd have to go and be like, hi, mimi naitwa Shiko, nini unaitwa nani, blah blah blah. So because of, I think I grew up like that, constantly, even when I'm put in a social circle, I'm like, hi, what's your name? Who are you? Okay, nice to meet you. I'm excited about that. But now as a person, you're grown and maybe you never got an experience where you got to express yourself when you were younger. I think what you can do is give yourself assignments. Like whenever you're out in public spaces, tell yourself, you know what, today I want to say hi to 2 people. Today I want to express to 2 people what I do in my work, and I want to know what they do in their work and just network in that manner. I want to give someone a compliment, and it can be as simple as I want to say hi to the person who seated next to me in the matatu, and you'd go like, sasa hiyo ina confidence inaingia na wapi? And it's about, most of the times we won't say hi to the next person because we're afraid of rejection or being looked at funny. Man, so yeah, because the importance of being able to do that is to be able to deal with the fact that yes, kunaweza kuwa na rejection, and rejection has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with whatever that person was going through. So you're also able to understand most of the things that maybe tamper with your confidence don't even have anything to do with you in the first place. So yeah, give yourself small assignments on how to work on your confidence. And if it's maybe in regards to your art, work to refine your art and make it so good, undeniably good. Because when you're good at what you do, people give you respect because you're good at what you do. And they're able to be like, Uni nani. Yeah, so there's also, unfortunately, that respect that you get because of who you are. But it's also not bad respect. I mean, if you worked your way towards being who you are. I think I always say the best teacher is experience. And whatever you have, allow yourself to experience. And even if your experience will cause you to make a mistake, in that experience, you learn how you want to show up. You learn how you want to be perceived. You learn how to relate with people. Even if you fail the first time, it's okay. Because you're able to see, next time, I want to show up like this. So I'd say allow yourself to experience things and don't place judgments on it or go cringe like, why did I do that? Why did I? It's okay, you did that. But now you after every experience that you have, just sit down and ask yourself, how do I want to show up next time? How do I want to be seen, or how do I want to see myself if I'm put in this situation? How do I want to present or carry myself if I'm relating with this person, or if I'm put in this, if I'm given this opportunity with my art? how do I want to show up for my art and for my audience that's going to consume the art that I am going to be giving. Yes, what else can I say about identity in your artistic space? I'd say find what you love. Yeah, it's very easy to find what you love. What you love, this is how you find what you love. Yeah? How does it make you feel? Easy?
Everything makes you feel happy. For example, food. So
Food, yeah, fine. If you actually love food, you found what you love in food. Okay, how can I put this food in my art? And you don't know, even maybe right now I have gotten inspired by that. If I love strawberries so much, I can compare strawberries to something in my life and create poetry about that, because that's what I love. I love relaxing. I can paint things to do colors that make me feel relaxed in my art, and I can put that. But what I meant when I was saying love, I meant that in your art, and even the people that you want to collaborate with, find the people that you enjoy. And it's a matter of a feeling in your body that will just tell you, I am comfortable, I am at ease, I enjoy this. Find those things that put you in that scenario and cultivate more of that. Because without complicating things, you cultivate that, you're happy. Avoid what doesn't make you happy, and what you don't love, just avoid it. Don't hate it, avoid it. Yeah. It's fun, that's for sure. But you can also get people who underestimate you, and they're like, oh, you know, because I'm older than you, it basically means what you're doing is not all that because I'm older than you. Lakini, there's also spaces where they're very, very, very keen to listen to what's refreshing from the youth. Yeah. And they look at your opinion as, this is refreshing, this is young, this is what we need to do. Yeah. And in such spaces, you feel like you're being empowered. So yeah, that's what I can say two of my experiences. One is, you don't feel like confident enough to make certain decisions, and you feel like you need to keep asking the people around you, is it okay if I do this? Is it okay if I do this? So it can be a good and a bad thing. Good thing, you get the right kind of person to advise you, and you get your journey like propelled. Bad thing, you ask someone and you believe their what is it called? Their opinion so much that you fail to believe in your own, and maybe your own idea was way much more better and is what would have worked for you. I always, this is very interesting, the answer that I believe is true for me. I always say, as a person, you know what is right for you. You know what is right for you. You'll always have the right answer for yourself. However, the importance of asking for other people's opinions is, you might encounter someone who has more exposure than you do, and that the amount of exposure that they do gives them a higher knowledge than you have, and the higher knowledge that they have gives them like maybe even an amount of wisdom that you're yet to have. Yeah. So if you encounter such people, well, good for you. Then you can ask around, but also always remain rooted in your decision making, and ask, I don't know, your creator for wisdom.
Higher power.
Ask higher power for wisdom and guidance, I guess. Working with old people and intimidation, well, to an extent, yes. But I'm also very good with old people, and I am able to read into how certain people want to be handled. Yeah. So the fact that I am gifted in that regard, it makes it easy for me to understand, uyu anataka tu kunionesha, I can learn from them. So to an extent, to make peace, I kind of like, yes, I want to learn from you, but I may or may not take what they're saying seriously. But then there's people who you have enormous amounts of respect for, that it's intimidating that you're in their presence. It's like, oh my God. You know, yeah, you're like, how am I supposed to behave? How do I carry myself? And you're like, oh yeah, you know, yeah, so there's those two.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. Acha nikwambie, imposter syndrome haibagui. Haibagui, it doesn't care about how you were raised. But I believe it's this idea where you don't feel good enough to be in certain spaces and you feel like everyone else around you deserves to be in that space other than you. And that you're the one who doesn't deserve to be there because probably you feel you're not enough. So that being said, I have been in spaces where I've felt like that and I've felt, oh my God, everyone here is so much better than I am. And it makes me feel like a helpless child. And yeah, it's painful in moments where you're not feeling like you're enough. But I try to breathe whenever I'm in such situations, and I repeat I'm enough to myself until I feel it. But the first time you say it, it's like, kwendoko. It's like the head is like, kwendoko. But then you keep saying it until finally you're like, you know what, I'm enough. I am going to own this space. I'm going to urge people to just understand what love as a concept is. And it's not, I'm not talking about intimate love. I'm not talking about how much you love your girlfriend or how much you love your boyfriend. That's good. It'll be good for you guys. But love as having understanding for the people who are around you, people who you interact with daily. Makangas, person you're seated to next in a bus, or someone you're interacting with at work. Understanding how to just give love to these people is, I think, what I'd say. Try and revolve around love as a person, because I think it's what we crave for the most in other people, to be loved. So I think it's what we should give the most, to love. Yeah.